So did you like the story? Yes. Please respond. Yes. So who are the characters in the story? The narrator, who seems to be author himself. The narrator is a writer and the lady who happens to be one of the readers of the author. Yes. Plot line. What is a plot? कथानक जिसे कहते हैं. कथानक. What is कथानक?
कथा कहने वाला.
Yes. कथानक जो होता है that is plot line. जो प्लॉट क्या होता है? कहानी, वो इवेंट सारी जिनसे कहानी बाउंड है, बंधी हुई है, एक इवेंट के बाद दूसरी इवेंट, हाउ इट प्रोग्रेसेस. ठीक है. So that is plot line of the story. Story begins with present happening and the narrator goes back to past. ठीक है. Because they met after 20 years. So the present is where they are today, but it moves back. The narrator recognizes the lady during staging of a play and recalls an incident of 20 years back. She wrote to him about his book and wants to meet him for a lunch at Poyot's. He was apprehensive as she asks for a lunch in a very expensive restaurant because it was out of his means to pay the bill there. As the writer was anyhow making his both ends meet, being flattened by the praise of the author, accepts the proposal because he was happy that he maybe might be establishing a good relationship in the future with the lady, or the lady might prove a good reader of the author. So he just flattered by the flattery of the lady, and finally the lunch, he just accepted her proposal for the lunch. They met for the lunch. The lady ordered expensive dishes one after another for the lunch. He came out of the restaurant penniless. The revenge is taken in the form of natural justice as the lady weighs 130 kg. So we ended at this twist in the end of this story, and that is the natural justice which happens. Natural justice where you don't do anything, when gods intervene in something and when justice happens, that is natural justice. Yes. So it is plot line which you are already familiar with. What are the characteristic features of the narration? The narration of the story is in the first person and it moves with flashback technique. I have already told you what is flashback. What is flashback? When events don't happen chronologically, they happen in reverse chronology. When you move from present to past, that is flashback. Okay? Yes. Next thing is ironical statements. As I have already told you, this complete story is an irony. Ironical statements in the story: I never eat anything for luncheon. I never eat more than one thing. I never drink at the time of lunch except champagne. I never eat more than one thing. I never eat anything for luncheon. So these are the statements which are very ironical, and you may be asked to explain the inherent irony in the statements which are by the lady. Lady, yes. Yes. Slide number, let us. Yes. Themes of the story now. Theme on which the story revolves. First theme is appearance versus reality. Appearance versus reality. Would anyone like to explain it? Appearance versus reality? Yes, come on. Appearance versus reality? Yes. Appearance versus reality is the lady, she appeared that she is going to talk about the author's works, but on the other hand, she did not talk at all about the author's works, and she appeared that she might, although very first instance it appeared when she said that I never eat anything for luncheon. So it appeared that the lady, although she just asked for lunch, but she is not going to eat anything. It was, she just wanted to have a meeting with the author. But in reality, what happened? In reality, it happened that the lady who just shown that, yes, I don't eat anything for luncheon. I never eat anything for luncheon except one thing, and kept on ordering very expensive dishes one after another, and even those which were out of season at that time. And he, second theme is the very dominant and prominent theme of this story is appearance versus reality. He imagines lady to be that of literary tastes, beautiful one of aesthetic tastes, but in real she was not what she seemed. What the author imagined? The author imagined lady to be that the lady must be having literary tastes, as he just received a letter from the lady praising him for his work. So already it came to his imagination that the lady must be of fine tastes, beautiful one, but she gave the author an impression of having more teeth, and she was not that much young as the author assumed. Of aesthetic, what is aestheticism? What is aesthetic? It is also a person who just enjoys artistic arts, artistic in nature. But in real, she was not what she seemed. So the very prominent and dominant theme of this story is appearance versus reality. How the lady appeared and in reality, what she did. Yes. So can now, hey, maybe a question for you in the exams. Character sketch of the narrator. What is character sketch? First of all, you must be knowing character sketch as you have done short stories in your school as well. What is character sketch? Where we tell somebody's character's qualities. Qualities like what type of personality somebody is. So character sketch of the narrator. Narrator is a young man, very human. What is human? What is human? One who is very much a human being in its real sense. Human. Sacrificing because he just, when the lady kept on ordering one after expensive dishes, he he's just left tension at all and was hospitable till the end. Unvindictive, opposite of vindictive, one who is interested in taking revenge. Unvindictive, one who is not interested in taking revenge. Hospitable, one who is a very good host to somebody, hospitable. Humorist, one who like jokes a lot, who enjoys a lot, who just communicates in a very light-hearted manner. So no, that seriousness of scene is missing. Although the events of the story might be serious because the author was completely penniless at the end of the story, but the story progresses in a very light mode instead of being serious that what will happen to the author at the end of the after coming out of the restaurant for yachts. Yes. Let me plug in the battery. So, whom did you like the most? The lady or the narrator? Whose character appeals to you? The lady or the author? Yes, students, please respond. Now come to character sketch of the lady. The lady was imposing, the very first quality which is told by the author himself, that she was imposing, one who imposes his or her personality on somebody else. That is imposing in nature, हावी होने वाला व्यक्ति. Snobbish, who is a snob, who shows a lot, but snobs are people who just show that they live life, maintain very good standards and so, but they not at all. Food loving. She was gluten. Gluten, very like one who keeps on eating very frequently. So food loving, gluten. Hypocritical. Hypocrisy, I have already told you. You pose like you maintain. You are very good in nature, very kind-hearted, but in reality you are not that, but you pose like that. That is hypocritical. Little aestheticism, how she talked about the situation of drama in Balkan countries, the mountain range around Bulgaria. So she just talked about situation of drama a little bit instead of talking about author's works. Yes, so these are the qualities of the lady. If you feel that any more can be added to these qualities, you may add that as well. Conclusions, the story is it is a comic one. Comic one means where you can't stop laughing yourself. Story is a comic one. Natural justice happens. So story is when you put somebody in trouble, then one day you might yourself be in trouble. Okay, so natural justice is that. It is a story which is humorous in nature. Hasyaspad. Yes. So here is assignment for you. You have to, first thing is two things. The lady's statement, which is prominent in the story, is I never eat anything for luncheon, and author's fear on the other hand, my heart sank, panic seized me. So you have to explain the irony in lady's statement and meaning of my heart saying what is the inherent meaning of the author's these statements. Panic seized me, my heart sank little. So you have to explain, and while explaining these statements, most of the story will be covered, and these of course are lengthy questions. very lengthy in nature. Yes, so it is the story, The Luncheon. Yes, any question from your side? Or shall we move to another story? The Night Trainer Devi by Ruskin Bond.